Hey, what's up out there, everybody? Why do I start laughing?
Every time you get in front of the microphone.
David Cravens with the Relentless Hope Podcast. Yeah. I got my beautiful savage wife. My beautiful savage wife.
What's up, everybody?
My librarian.
I'm getting old, okay?
Look pretty in them glasses. I like that shirt.
I love these
These
shirts.
are some jerseys. Relentless Hope, we got jerseys, we got shirts. Check it out. Get you some Relentless Hope merchandise. We're actually revamping the whole store because we lose a lot of sales on stuff just because I'm not good at that and don't push it. And people are like, man, I'll try to find it or I want to do it. Because people are lazy. I'm sorry, but we live in a time, if they can't click it and get it right
they want it accessible.
They're not going to go search for it or whatever. So that's all going to be revamped because a lot of people ask about our shirts and different things, So be on the lookout. And while you're at it, you know what to do. Get some you know what? I haven't drank one of these today.
Oh, shoot.
Oh.
What's that one taste like?
Clean Claws, like Sprite, kind of.
Lemon lime?
Mm-hmm. I'm getting off of those lemonade teas. I drank those for so long, so I've been drinking these lately back to my original. But I drink all of them.
I stick to my girl ones.
Yeah, she likes certain ones that color, and she drinks it. Does it? But well, she drinks the other ones too. But that's like your main one. Yeah. But we've got all different ones. But anyway, so drink some Clean Claws. Mm-hmm. I'm not wearing a Flyfit tee today, but when I'm wearing a t-shirt, it's a Flyfit tee, and if I'm wearing some sunglasses, they're Neven Sunglasses. You know what I'm saying? Bob's back there. I let him wear that outfit for a while. I didn't feel like bringing him one to change him because I have to, when I get an outfit for the podcast, I have to bring Bob an outfit for the podcast. So this time I just kind of stuck him in Tim's office.
I was rocking that Florida
vibe. That's a cool one. This might be the one he has for a while. He had on the Why Bob shirt for a while. And so we like to let him. I kind of like this one. We got a lot of compliments on that one. So
I love the Why Bob
we're gonna leave it. That actually used to be my shirt. This used to be a 4X that I wore. I wear a 2X now.
Man, that thing swims on you now.
Still working on it. We've been hitting the gym hard. Really been trying to change some diet and go to the next level. DDPY really stepped that back up a little bit.
Yeah.
Not that we wasn't doing it, but we wasn't. We got into the power cuff, so we would do DDPY warm ups and then try to work it in. But then,
there's something to be said about.
There's something to be said about it.
Energy.
And I know you guys hear us say that. And I'm going to put a link. I'm going to start putting a link in here too to DDPY and the power cuffs. A lot of people ask us about it.
Yeah.
And they don't quote unquote sponsor us, but they're part of our life and we're part of that community. Thank you guys for all the liking and subscribing. Subscriber counts going up, emails coming in. Numbers are staying the same, getting a little higher. So we thank you guys. We love you. We appreciate it for listening to two misfits that don't know much, but we know about some brokenness and some Jesus.
I think we're entertaining. I think that's why they like us because you guys never know what we're going to say.
That's true. You never know. Life's been going on. We've just been working out, working on some new things coming into the new year.
Business is picking up.
Business is staying busy. Yeah. Well, that's been.
Our economy's about to pick back up.
Yeah, things are going good.
Yeah, baby.
So we're thankful. And I don't know if it was the last episode or episode before.
Dude, that hat is fire.
Anyway, I don't even know what hat this is.
Kansas City. Fire.
Oh, yeah. That's for my father-in-law. Right. Oh, yeah. For all you people that are asking why I always have Kansas City stuff on. Okay, first of all, I'm not a big football guy, so... I don't know if you guys. I'm gonna fix this microphone thing a little bit.
Break it.
But listen here, windy. But
I ain't winding today.
No,
my guy.
I'm just kidding. But people who know me know I'm not a big football guy. I'm more of a UFC guy, a boxing guy, hockey. Yeah, I love hockey. But Kansas City was my father-in-law's favorite football team. He loved them, and
who's won how many Super Bowls in a row?
No, I don't know.
2 times.
Is it 2 times?
2 times, maybe.
I don't really follow it. I just wear Kansas City because I love my father-in-law, so that's why I wear it. So if you see me wearing it, that's why I got it on. So save all your comments. I'm not a Swifter. What are the things called? Them Swifties.
Yeah, I didn't even go to that concert.
No, that was a joke.
Oh, let me tell you something. So my daughter wanted to go to that concert. We bought the tickets a year in advance. And then I found out what she really stood for. So we did not go to the concert. Sorry, Alley Cat. We sold the tickets, and
yeah,
I feel better about myself.
Chose not to go to the Taylor Swift.
Wasn't going to support it.
So we're on here today, me and my beautiful wife. You guys know that our whole mission in life, because God repaired our marriage, right? And if you would have told me a long time ago, I didn't set out to be the guy who'd been married a bunch of times, relapsed on drug, didn't get a good marriage and get clean guy, but that's the guy I am. It would have been nice to maybe I would have been the guy who got saved and started rapping and went on tour and left that legacy, but that's not the legacy that I got. But what I do got is a passion to work on my marriage and a passion to help families so kids don't have to be raised the way I was. No shade to my mom and my dad, but I did not see good marriage habits from either one of them.
Right.
And caused me and my sister both to make some decisions, but again, I've forgiven them and they did what they were to do. My mom and Larry have had a good marriage and they've been married for a long time, but
shout out to Cindy and Larry.
Cindy and Larry, but and then my dad was with Molly for a long time, you know what I mean? After the fact, but not the way marriages should be. I didn't get taught the way I should, you know what I mean? And I've seen some good biblical marriages, being around some good Christian people. But so our whole passion is so kids don't have to suffer through divorce. And you hear us say it. Somebody told me the other day they're sick of hearing me say it, so I'm going to say it again just for you, pal. Marriage works 100% of the time if you do it God's way. Who says that? Jimmy Evans says that, and David says that, and I believe that. Right. Which believes me. You hear me guys always talking about the books that we have and all this. This is the book. It's called The 4 Laws of Love, and guaranteed success for every married couple. And I've read this book countless times. I go back and might just read a front chapter or 5 pages of different stuff. Excuse me. That's clean calls. But you guys know priority, pursuit, partnership, and purity. That's the 4 laws. You see them on the shirts. That was inspired by Jimmy Evans that we make, which you can buy. Yes. Yes. And everybody loves those shirts. They're on the military shirts and they're on the red ones. There's 2 of them. It says Relentless Hope and has the 4 laws. But we've been going over them, and some people have been liking it. We went over purity. We went over all the law. I mean, we didn't go over purity yet. We went over priority, pursuit, and partnership. And so we're to purity. And somebody asked me a question, and they sent in, and some people send different stuff in, but they asked a question is how, when you've seen things growing up, and purity is like sight unseen, right? When we think purity, we automatically think sex, right? Or, purity in the marriage, but purity can be finances, time. You got to be pure, and communication. Everything's got to be pure, right? Right. And they kind of ask, like, how do you keep your marriage pure when the things you've experienced, the things you've seen, the things you and Jahnna, mistakes you made, how do you keep your marriage pure? And you've been saying this word for like months now.
This is one of my favorite words, and it's intentional.
Yes, you've been saying
and
it.
Intentional means making deliberate choices to reflect what is most important to us. So that's becoming intentional. It can help us maintain a positive mindset, reach goals, and experience more clarity and be more present. It can also increase our focus and commitment and bring more purpose and meaning to our lives and our marriages. So I just think that's like, I love intentional, because you're being intentional,
Yeah. I mean, and purity is about guarding your relationship. Yes. Anything that can hurt it, damage it, you know what I mean? Come in, steal from it. Right. That's the purity part, is keeping it pure. When you think of keeping something pure, this microphone keeps turning. Think of keeping something pure, like what is it, gold? They keep gold pure, right? Yeah. They keep it like this gold chain is pure. No, they keep it pure, and they got to protect it, and they can't let anything fall in the thing. Or I used to work at a varnish plant, me and DK, shout out DK. And it had to be pure, because the varnish was what would go over the top of this book to make it, feel like it does, right? And it would be hot, and if something got put in the batch, like and me and DK were chemists. Now, we wasn't making no methamphetamines, not at that time, at that place. No, but we were making, and we had to weigh up all these chemicals, and then the bats would get turning. There was a guy, and then we'd take it off.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, well, this sounds cool. We only made $10 an hour, and DK hated that job, and so did I. And that's a whole nother story. When I get, oh Lord, let me tell you, man. Oh, Art was this guy's name. Alvar, that was the name of it, Washburn, Illinois. But Squirrel. No, but shout out to Diana over there on the controls, over there doing her thing. I didn't even give you a shout out, Diana. I'm sorry. We got to going down here at the 239 on Central and sunny Southwest Florida. We love it over here, and I love Diana. Now back from that.
And Tip.
And of course, I love Tip. And so anyway, that varnish would be, if something got into the top, it would be like in this big thing, and you dump this amount of chemical in this resin. If one thing, like a bag of wrong thing or something went in there, it would tarnish that whole. The varnish wouldn't be pure. It wouldn't be pure. Is what that's what the words they would say. That varnish, that tub's not pure. Okay. Which you think about it. So we had to protect that. Like only certain people could pour the chemicals, like me and DK or the guy, because it costs a lot of money. Well, it costs a lot of money if you don't keep your relationship pure.
Ooh, facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Come on.
Look at it. I think it's, my statistics might be a little bit wrong. I'm going by memory. 20% might even be higher now of married men say they've had an affair, and women are right there with it. I know we wrote it. And that's people that admit it. You know what I mean? Because why?
That are admitting.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They didn't keep their marriage pure. You know what I'm saying? And what do you think are some ways, Jahnna, that say the person who asked me, like, what do we do to keep our marriage pure? Yeah. What do you think are some ways, since coming back from what we went through, people know, what are some steps that we take to keep our marriage pure?
Well, we keep a hedge of protection around our marriage. Number one, our circle is very, very small. When we got back together, we made a point to let everybody know that we were, changing our lives, and if you weren't for Team David and Jahnna, then you probably didn't need to be in our lives at that point, right? So anybody that is in our lives know how important that is to us. So I think there's a lot of things that we have to do, and it involves going to church. It also involves the things we watch, that we let in our ear gates, our eye gates, we make that very important to us. What about you? What do you think?
Boundaries, compromising positions.
So
boundaries. I mean, there is, I used this analogy not too long ago. I was talking to somebody, and they were talking about, what do you think this is wrong, or do you think this is right? Right. And they said, well, what do you think if, me and my buddies go to Hooters and my girl got mad? I said, they said, well, we're going to eat chicken wings. I was like, well, first of all, the name of the place is Hooters, and I get the thing of it is. Right. Don't get me wrong. Hooters has got good chicken wings. You love them.
I love Hooters.
Would I just go? Now, one time, if I was out working, I'd be like, well, I can go to wherever I want to go because I'm a grown man and I'm going to Hooters and da-da-da-da.
Typical David.
But yeah, well, yeah. I mean, typical man most of the time, a lot in the world. But yeah, I would say, hey, I can do what I want. But the reason I see that would be wrong was because John and I have boundaries, and I don't want to put myself in a compromising position. Now, doesn't mean if you go to Hooters you're going to hell. That's between you and God. Is it a good thing if you probably got a problem with lust? You want to go in there and watch little young girls, pretty little girls walking around, and they're probably not a good place. Also, if you're the guy or person or woman who, when you take a stand and say a certain thing, you got to live by a certain
set of rules.
Yeah, a certain standard, right? You know what I mean? So
yeah, because and then you need to think. Let's just reverse that. Do you want your wife somewhere where there's a bunch of guys walking around with no shirts on and serving you food?
Yeah,
let's be honest.
But I'm saying, yeah, that. But it even goes bigger than that because, people go, some people are saying, well, I'm secure with that. My wife don't cheat on me, man don't cheat on me. Maybe not. But if it is a problem, my main thing is to do whatever it is to make you feel secure.
Right.
And if you got a problem with that, and there's been a problem, then you don't do it.
Right.
Right. You build that boundary to make you feel safe.
Right.
And see what happens is, it says in Genesis, I'm going to actually read it so I don't say it. Where is it at? I had it on here. Genesis 2:24 and 25. That is why man leaves father and mother and is united to his wife, and they become one flesh. Adam and his wife were both naked, and they felt no shame. Okay. So, when we first got together, sometimes we were each covered with fig leaves. Yeah. And then when some things happened in our relationship, there was more fig leaves because you didn't feel safe with me, or you didn't feel secure, or I had let you down or hurt you, and vice versa. So, if I was to go to do that, I don't have no desire to do that. But if I was going to do that, I know that would hurt you and that would cause problems. So I wouldn't even do it, because the main thing, and a lot of times people about purity in your relationship, is taking off the fig leaves and everything. That means you'll take off the fig leaves. There's nothing that I don't tell you. Right. You know me, my weakest moments. You know when I'm sad. You know when I'm depressed. You know when I'm worried. Now, there was a time that I wouldn't tell you everything. And there was, trust me. I didn't trust you, or I didn't want to hear about it, or I didn't want to hear, or, I didn't want you to be scared. I didn't want you to be nervous, or I didn't want you to throw it in my face, whatever. And vice versa. There was times you wouldn't share some of the deepest, darkest secrets, or intimacy. Guys, intimacy is not sex. Sex is not intimacy. Right? Parts of it is, but guys, in our mind, you say you want to get intimate, I'm thinking sex, right? Oh, yeah. That's how it is. Intimacy is you just maybe want to talk and share, and we get close and we become one. Right. And so purity means all the fig leaves are off. This relationship is pure. It is safe financially, communicating, sexually, everything. Right? And going back to the Hooters thing, so I told the guy, I said, well, why would your girl have such a problem with you going to Hooters to eat? Why wouldn't you tell her? You know what I'm saying? And I said,
so he was hiding it.
Yeah, well, yeah, he was like, well, she would get mad if I told her, and it's, it's no big deal. So, obviously they'd had some problems. I said, well, then your marriage isn't first, and you're lacking purity. Well, I'm not doing nothing. That's not what I'm saying. You're lacking purity, right? Because she don't trust you for some reason, and the marriage isn't pure. You know what I mean?
There.
Right? So you're hiding it.
Right there.
But so when he asked me that, I would say, here's what I do. If Jahnna doesn't agree, I don't do it. Right. It's just the way our marriage works. If I don't agree, you don't do it. If we're not in agreement on it, we always say, there's David and Jahnna and Jesus, and Jesus is the boss, right? And if Jahnna doesn't agree, I don't make the decision. Right. If Jahnna doesn't, hey, that bothers me, David. It doesn't matter if somebody don't understand it. Right. It's what makes keeps our marriage safe and pure.
They're not in our relationship anyways.
And so to have purity in your relationship, going to the 4 laws, it's right here. I've read this so many times. But here are 6 steps of purity in marriage. Take responsibility for your own behavior. That's one step to purity. Yeah. So, number 2 is do not return sin for sin. And that's a big one. And that was a big one. I have to stop.
It's so human
and
nature.
I've had to go back and read these steps so many times. That's where I've read the whole book, and then I'll go back and I got to work on this step. Right. Sin for sin is like, well, you did this, so I'm going to do this.
I'm going to do that. Which, in all actuality, that's kind of what happened when we separated. The first time, it was very much, it was, that's exactly what happened. Yeah. Finding out, okay, you did this.
So I'm going to do this.
Well, I'm going to do this.
On both sides. Yes. Right. And then another one is admit your faults. These are all steps to purity. Admit your faults. Another one is forgive, obviously. And another one is speak the truth in love. See, being able to speak the truth has got to say, there's sometimes you're lacking in purity because you're scared to say anything. Right. Or you attack.
Yeah. And sometimes it's not always so much what you're saying, it's how you're saying it.
Yeah. Yeah. But see, you've got to be able to, man, when I drink that Clean Cause, it makes me burp. That's why I try to drink them beforehand a lot of times. But when you got to speak the truth in love, it means, maybe that guy wouldn't lie to her about going to Hooters. I'm going to say who it is. If he could tell her, honey, look, I'm working and all the guys are going to Hooters. I can't be the guy to be like, drop me off at McDonald's because my girl gets mad that I go to Hooters, right? You see what I'm saying? So maybe he feels he can't tell her because then she don't speak the truth in love. She goes, you cheating, lying. You always wanted to go look at girls.
Yeah, but hold up on that one, because maybe she wouldn't accuse him of that if he told her where he was going.
Okay.
That's a two-way street, my guy.
But maybe he has told her before and she didn't speak the truth in love. Okay, go. Let's be. I mean, I see what you're doing. You're taking up for the girl. I'm taking up for the guy, which is normal.
No, but I'm saying, of course, she's going to feel that way when he's doing that.
Right, exactly. But the thing he said is, you missed that part. Is I can't tell her because she's going to get mad and accuse me anyway, and I'm not doing nothing. Right. Okay. So speaking the truth in love, this is something that we dealt with. Right. Yeah. If I said, "Hey, I went there. You're a liar, cheater. I know you did." I'm like, "Whoa, you didn't let me tell you. I didn't do." And there's a lot of times I say, "Well, screw it. You're going to accuse me of it. I'm going to go do it." Right. Because you might have been telling me the truth, but you wasn't telling me in love. And you know what I'm saying? And same to me, to you. So maybe if she sat down and said, "Hey," maybe if he said, "Why you get so mad when I do that?" And she says, "Well, because somebody cheated." You know, like there was a time that you wouldn't want to go eat somewhere because you had a bad memory there. And I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" Yeah. Right. But really that was a wound for you, and that would open it up. Right. That would trigger you. And so maybe if he talked to her and she spoke to him in love, like, you know, because these ain't bad people, like, you know, out running around. But so maybe if he said, "Hey," she said, "Hey, I don't like when you go there because this happened, or I'm afraid you're going to do this and then that."
Right.
And she told him how she felt in love, and versus attacking him. You can see that's why this is important. That's why it's in here. Speak the truth in love. And that's something that you and I have worked on and gotten a lot better, but still don't always do it.
Yeah, we still haven't arrived.
No, none of us arrived.
Work in progress.
And the number 6 is pray for each other. That's a given. And then seek healthy friendships and fellowship. Listen, important. So, you know, I understand if you're working and your guys want to go to Hooters, but if it causes, I can tell you right now, because he asked me what would I do. I said I wouldn't go to Hooters. He's like, "You'd sit in the truck?" I said, "Hey, man." I'd be like, "Hey, bro, I don't go to Hooters." I mean, right now I have no problem saying that. And I remember when we were on John Huffman's podcast, he said, "How long ago did you get where you really don't care?" I really don't care. Listen, I've gave people my whole life a lot of stuff to talk about. I've made so many bad decisions and mistakes and gave people to talk about. Why would I care if somebody says David Cravens don't go to Hooters? Right. Because his wife would get upset, or not even upset, or just for the sake of somebody seeing me or something. Yeah. Again, if you want to go to Hooters, that's between you and Jesus. Go ahead. So these laws and purity, and that's just I'm using a true life example. Right. You know, speak to them in love. You know, practice these things. Pray for your mate. Get some good, godly marriages people around. You know what I mean? You need to be around people that have been married for a while and been through stuff.
Absolutely. People that you want to aspire to be like.
Yeah. And they wonder why do you watch all these stuff, or why do you try to hang? Because I want to grow. Yeah. I blew it so many times. I want to end, and I want people to say, "Hey, Dave Cravens might have messed up in the beginning, and boy, I've got some stories. But when he ended, he was a good husband, and he ended up being a good father and a good grandfather." That's my main goal, is to be your hero, be my kid's hero, and try to see some lives change along the way. Right? And that's why we do this.
Spread some hope.
So if you haven't, I encourage you, get on Amazon, get the 4 Laws of Love by Jimmy and Karen Evans. And it's amazing. Yeah. The book's changed our life. We read it. The Marriage on the Rocks on there. I Will. There's so much stuff. Get on there.
You can never stop learning. Never stop learning about your marriage.
And again, that's just one little, for its time's sake, you know, there's so much in depth you can get in. That's just touching it. But purity also does mean sexually. You got to keep the marriage bed pure. Yeah. You know what I mean? There's countless scriptures in the Bible. Flee from adultery. God will judge the adulterer. You know what I mean? And I think we live in a society today where it's like, well, if you have sex with somebody, it's okay. And I grew up like that too, and so did you, and it wasn't that big a deal. Obviously, I'm trying to teach my boys and Nevaeh now, and my older kids are you know, they're adults, so they got to choose what they got to do. But I'm trying to teach them, like, hey, you know, like I told Jackson, you know, not too long ago, hey, that stuff, you know, you live in an age, I can only regulate so much. If you're going to do something, you're going to do something. I can only see, I can't control everything. We live in too much of a techie world. But whatever you think you're seeing or your buddies are talking about, that's not the real world. That's not, and that's going to put an image in your head that you're expecting. That's not real. It's perverted and it's rampant, you know?
Right.
So keeping the marriage pure, and this is why a lot of people hear me say this, and like, I'm a Tim Tebow dude.
Yeah.
I love Tim Tebow, right? I'm not a football guy. I don't love Tim Tebow for football.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, when I first moved here, he was with the Gators, and I was like, oh, go Gators, you know what I mean, or whatever.
But he's an inspiration.
Yeah, Tim Tebow. You won't watch any documentary about the swamp, anything where you see somebody say something bad about Tim Tebow. You won't say, oh, he was out here doing this. I'm not saying he was perfect, but I'm not saying he didn't ever lose his temper or say something mean to somebody, but you know, in his heyday, can you imagine the girls at that college that were throwing themselves at Tim Tebow?
But see, and going back to that, he didn't put himself in those situations.
No, he had boundaries.
That's right.
He had boundaries. They said either he was reading the Bible or reading the playbook. And guys, they'd be like, is Tim coming to the party? Like, no, he went back. He kept himself out of it.
And everyone respected him.
And his book is amazing. You know, he's amazing, but that's one reason why I love him was the purity part. Yeah. I mean, how awesome was that when he got married? Dude, he's a stud. That dude's a stud, right? You know what I mean? Like, as far as like how much stuff did he turn down and have integrity? He had a goal. He had a goal. And he kept boundaries, and he kept it safe and kept it pure. So if you're out there today, maybe you've blown it. Maybe you haven't been keeping your marriage pure, or maybe, you know, you're working on these things, or maybe you and your wife or you and your husband are wearing fig leaves. Like you can't talk to each other about finances. The main thing is communication and being transparent.
And it's never too late.
Nope.
You know, too many times I remember thinking with David, it's too late, but it really isn't too late. It just requires some hard work, and it requires being vulnerable, and it requires being unselfish and just really diving in. And, you know, we say it all the time. There's nothing wrong with going to counseling. Counseling saved our marriage. Christian counseling.
Yep. Exactly. Good Christian counseling.
But it saved our marriage. And there's a lot of things that all of us have to heal from, and you got to give yourself that chance.
Yeah. And listen, put down your phone for a minute. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And pick up a book and read it. I mean, for real.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's 2025 almost, for God's sakes. You can get on YouTube. You don't got to pay for nothing. You can get on YouTube and watch all this stuff for free. You can get this free.
Oh my gosh.
It's what's important to you. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
I mean, I'd rather put time into this stuff, and she'll tell you, I'll have books just show up with this. I get on there and do it at my house because it's that important to me. Our marriage is that important, and I sucked at marriage. I sucked at relationships, guys. When I tell you, I promise you, there's nobody out there that was more selfish or worse at marriage than I was. Hands down.
Not anymore.
Well, and again, I'm not perfect. I got a long ways to go, and I'm trying to work on stuff.
No, but I'm super proud of you for that, David, because you're always trying to go to the next level.
Yeah, and
always working on that.
And that's why marriage conference, you know, the number one less attended conferences at church are marriage conferences. Yeah. That just floors me. I don't even understand that. Like, that should be the number one attended. Yeah, but it is. Those are the less names. Wow. Think about it. Even Christian marriages, they, you know what I mean? The guy comes home, he watches. I mean, listen, I know a lot of people that are in the ministry, and their wives take the back seat to ministry. I'm sorry.
That's why it's so important to us to be different. You know?
And our dynamic's different. You know, like our communications, we work good at our communication. And it goes back to having the partnership and the purity that there's nothing that I can't tell you, even if you're going to get mad at me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And you might say, wait a minute, David, hold on. But I paid a penalty. Yeah. And it goes back to what I'm saying to the guy about the Hooters.
Right.
If I told you found out I went to Hooters at one time in our marriage, even though I wasn't doing nothing, I was just there eating.
Yeah.
It would be packed clothes. I'm out of here. You're a cheater. Yeah. You're a liar, because we didn't have open communication.
Right.
You know, now.
And I have to say that's a two-way street though too, because I might have handled it differently if you were honest about it. So that's
not back at that time. You wouldn't have. But I mean, I'm talking about in our worst heyday. Even if I was honest about it, I would have still been in trouble.
Because you were probably up to no good. Let's just be honest.
Not always, guys. See what I'm saying? Here we go. We're gonna have to go back to counseling tomorrow about this. No, but I'm saying there was a time, if I would have told you beforehand, hey, the guys are stopping at Hooters. She's like, well, I won't be here when you get here. and then again, it goes back to now, if I was to call you and say, hey, I'm with so-and-so, they're wanting to go here. Really, in all odds, you would go ahead. I don't care if you go there and eat. You know what I mean? Like you're secure enough. So you're not same thing with me. But I mean, at one time, it shows the security and the immaturity that was in our relationship. We didn't trust each other and nothing, you know? Yeah. And so now the 4 laws of love, which I'm going to go read it again today and try to change my life. And I'm going to get some pursuit, some priority, some partnership, and some purity. Jimmy Evans, I'm going to send you my Cash App. Cash App me some drink. I'm just kidding. You know, people always say that. For real, though, good book. Anything on Exo Marriage is awesome. Clean calls, fly-fitted tees. This ain't one. Bob ain't got one on. Nobody's got one on, but I got a whole bunch of them, drawer of them. Nautical balls.
More coming.
Nautical balls.
Let's rephrase that. No balls.
Edit. Nautical bowls.
Oh, we're not editing nothing. We don't edit here.
I know, it was funny. And Neven Eyewear. We love you. Signing off from the 239 Uncensored.
The best studio.
Work on your marriage. Oh, yeah, hands down. We're not going anywhere anytime soon. Might going to see some set changes, but other than that,
keep it fresh.
We're going to keep it fresh. We love Diana anytime we get to spend time with her. Yes. So you want to take us out of here? Look at the camera and tell them something they need to work on this day and this week.
We can all work on something, you know? None of us have arrived. I definitely have not arrived. It's a daily putting work in. So don't give up on your marriages. Don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on your spouse. It's all in how much you want it.
Very well said. I love that, girl. Peace.
Peace, love, and chicken grease.